Wednesday, July 6, 1785. Preceptor Loeffler was one of my most highly esteemed teachers, especially in the lower gymnasium. I may safely call him perhaps the very best. I entered his instruction in the autumn of 1777 when he was preceptor I in Fkel. Thus I was with him for the first half of 1778. That same year, the late preceptor Schiffner died, and in the fall, Loeffler advanced with us by one class level. So I received his instruction for the whole of 1778 and most of 1779. Even after I left his class for that of my uncle, preceptor Gores, I continued private lessons with him throughout that year, and again in 1783, when I was a novice in the first class under Professor Nast. In the first period of private instruction, Lebret and Ottenreith studied with me. In the second, I was alone. In the first course, we translated Curtius, Aesop, and the New Testament, namely on Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 11 to 12 and from 2 to 3. In the second course, I translated Cicero's De Senectute, Somnium Scipionis, and Laelius De Amicia. In Greek, the New Testament letters to the Thessalonians and to the Romans, and some Hebrew psalms. We finished with Vidas Christiad, of which I knew many passages by heart. Preceptor Loeffler served as Hegel's leading instructor in the lower classes of the Stuttgart Gymnasium, holding the official title Preceptor I in Fkel, first tutor of the infant class. When Hegel began under him in autumn 1777, Loeffler was responsible for foundational Latin and Greek instruction. Following the death of preceptor Schiffner in 1778, Loeffler advanced with Hegel's cohort, teaching him through most of 1779. Even after Hegel moved to his uncle preceptor Gores' class, he continued private tuition with him, later again under Professor Nast in 1783. During their first private lesson phase, Hegel studied alongside Lebret and Ottenreith, translating Quintus Curtius Rufus's Historia Alexandri Magni, Aesop's fables in their classical Latin versions, and passages of the New Testament, Greek text, 4 days a week in scheduled sessions. In the second phase, Hegel worked solo on Cicero's De Senectute, Somnium Scipionis, The Dream of Scipio, excerpted from Cicero's Republic, and Laelius De Amicia, alongside Greek New Testament letters to the Thessalonians and to the Romans, and some Hebrew psalms in the original language. We finished with Vidas Christiad, a Renaissance-era Latin epic on Christ's Passion, of which Hegel could recite many passages by heart. This curriculum exemplifies late 18th century humanist pedagogy, rigorous translation practice, mastery of classical authors, and memorization of verse in Latin, Greek, and Hebrew under the close guidance of a devoted preceptor. Thursday, July 7, 1785. He was the most upright and impartial man. His greatest concern was to be of benefit to his students, to himself, and to the world. He did not think, as others do, that once one has their bread secured, one need not study further, and may go on perpetuating the eternal, annually recycled classroom routine. No, the late man thought otherwise. He understood the value of learning and the comfort it offers in life's many circumstances. How often and how cheerfully and contentedly did he sit with me in that beloved little room, and I with him. Few understood his merits. A great misfortune for him was that he had to work so far beneath his proper sphere. And now he too has passed, but I will carry his memory, unwavering, in my heart forever. Let me add this. He gave me, already in 1778, 18 volumes of Shakespeare's plays as a gift. Preceptor Loeffler, Hegel's esteemed lower gymnasium tutor, was renowned for his integrity, pedagogical zeal, and belief that learning sustains both teacher and student throughout life. His private instruction took place in Loeffler's modest study, where he guided Hegel through classical texts and life lessons. In 1778, Loeffler presented Hegel with an 18-volume edition of Shakespeare, likely Johann Joachim Eschenberg's German translation, demonstrating the late 18th century German fascination with English drama and providing Hegel access to the full breadth of Shakespeare's plays. Friday, July 8, 1785. As a general trait, I have found in the character of the female sex, though surely some men are not exempt from it, a complete contradiction of Horace's lines. Sperat infestis metuat secundis, alteram sortem bene preparatum pectus. The well-prepared heart hopes in adversity and fears in prosperity. The quoted lines, sperat infestis metuat secundis, originate in Horace's Odes, Book 1, Ode 4, lines 5 to 6, where he advises that a well-prepared heart hopes in adversity and fears in prosperity. By asserting that women exhibit the opposite tendency, Hegel implies they may feel anxious when fortunes are low and overconfident when all seems well. This observation reflects late 18th century gender stereotypes about emotional disposition contrasted against the Stoic ideal of equanimity. Saturday, July 9, 1785. If superstition has ever concocted anything dreadful, an adventure so absurd and devoid of reason, it is surely the so-called mutus hare, the brave host. Last Sunday night at 1 or 2 a.m., many people claim to have seen it. Even, shameful to say, individuals from whom one would expect more enlightenment, some even holding public office. One old woman said she had seen a fiery wagon with people in it. Others claim to have seen different things. Commonly, it is said that it is the devil in a fiery chariot, from the front of which flies an angel of God, calling out to all, "Out of the way! The brave host is coming!" Whoever does not heed this divine warning is dragged by the devil into his domain. The mutus hare, brave host, reflects a local variant of the dramatic Wild Hunt legend, in which a phantom procession, often led by a spectral charioteer or devil, rushes through the night, warning onlookers to flee or risk being carried off to the spirit world. Such apparitions were widely reported in rural Württemberg during the 18th century, blending pre-Christian beliefs in restless dead with Christian elements, for example, an angel's warning. Testimonies from enlightened individuals and officials demonstrate how deeply ingrained these superstitions remained, despite Enlightenment critiques of irrational folklore. The fiery wagon imagery evokes the fusion of infernal and divine motifs, a heralding angel juxtaposed by a demonic chariot, symbolizing eternal judgment and the peril of ignoring moral or spiritual warnings. Sunday, July 10th, 1785. Returning to the tale of the brave host from last Sunday, people tell it with the same details, and I have been told the names of several who saw or heard it, an atrocious clamor, supposedly. A few days later, it became clear that, oh shame, shame, they were carriages. Mr. von Turkheim held a very well-attended concert that lasted until 2 a.m. To prevent the guests from groping home in the dark, he had them driven back in carriages with torches. And that was the brave host. Ha, ha, ha. O tempora, o moris. Happened in 1785. Oh, oh. The brave host frenzy was a case of collective superstition subsiding into a mundane explanation. Torched carriages escorting guests home from a late concert at the von Turckheim estate. Such country concerts were fashionable among Württemberg's gentry, and firing torches on carriages created the illusion of a spectral procession. Mr. von Turckheim refers to a local nobleman known for patronizing music in the late 18th century. The exclamation, "O tempora, O moris," borrowed from Cicero's first Catiline oration, expresses Hegel's mock indignation at the absurdity of mistaking carriages for a demonic host. Monday, July 11, 1785. This incident produced the following anecdote. Townspeople came to the main guard post, reported the event, and asked the commanding officer to be watchful in case the brave host should return.